Module 6, Insurance. It sounds very intimidating, but I promise after you utilize this module and the references, it won't be so intimidating for you anymore. The module is going to look like this. Right now you're watching the module video. There's also a slide presentation that goes along with this video, and embedded in the slide presentation are your interactive links. So there won't be an interactive notes worksheet with the links, but rather they'll all be right here in this presentation. You'll have a reading quiz over Chapter 8, Life Insurance and Long-Term Care Planning, and Chapter 9, Employee Benefits, Health, Disability, and a little bit on retirement plans. We'll get into that later in the next module. Keep in mind, you're still completing this book, Get a Financial Life, and I think I've heard from several of you that this is a great book. It's a great addition to a college course. And then your assignment for this module will be a health insurance research assignment. And I'll take you step by step through that assignment in a separate video. Let's get started. You found out with your own budget, there's only so much that you can allocate. So think about if you had extra money in your budget. Would you devote it to paying down student loans, saving in an emergency fund, or buying better insurance coverage? How would you make your decision? We've talked about student loans. We've talked about an emergency account. Now, let's talk a little bit about insurance, and then you can make some decisions. The interactives I mentioned, you will just click, and it will start to play. The feature story in Chapter 8 definitely talks about how Jackie's husband died at age 28. I know that's very scary. But on the flip side, you have to think long term, even though you're young, because accidents could happen or illness. So you want to make sure that you have some type of life insurance in the works and that you're planning long term. There are several factors that affect your premiums. It could be expenses incurred by the insurer, profit to the insurance company, your risk classification, your age, your health, your family history. So you'll fill out a series of questions, and then the insurance company will assess your risk factors and set your premiums. I thought this was a great chart for the steps in the financial needs method. 1, you estimate your household's financial needs at your death. 2, the household resources that are available to meet the needs. Then you calculate how much life insurance is needed to balance the scale. I like this quick glance at how much Social Security would pay out upon death. Little napkin display, and it shows that Social Security is a government program. These are the benefits. This is how it works. There are different types of policies you can choose, term, permanent, or whole life. It's very important to consider your insurance agent. I know that a lot of times those are personal relationships, and you form a bond with your agent, and usually you use your agent for all types of insurances. There are different key provisions in a life insurance policy, required and optimal provisions, settlement options. Upon death and you have a life insurance policy, the beneficiary can take a lump sum, they could take periodic interest only, or income for life using a life annuity. You can look into those. A chart that would reflect about what you're going to pay for some long-term care. A licensed home health aide, $22 an hour. Just an assisted living 1 bedroom, $4,000 a month. Yes, you saw that. That's the median. So about $48,000 a year to live in an assisted living facility. Semi-private nursing home, that and a nursing home is broken down by the day. Look at these numbers. Another reason long-term care insurance is very important. Let's hop into a different kind of insurance. Until what age can a child stay on their parents' health insurance? Let me give you a couple seconds. 26 years old, that's right. Under current law, if your plan covers children, you can now add or keep your children on your health insurance policy up until they turn 26 years of age. Ponder on these questions for just a few minutes. In Chapter 9, when you hit the feature story, I think you're going to find out that pretty soon you'll have some decisions to make just like Lori. So take a few minutes and read over that feature story. How about the value of employee benefits? I know salary is very important, but you also need to look at the different benefits that your future employer or that your employer currently offers to decide if that's what's best for you, your lifestyle, and your family. Different employee benefits could include vacations, sick days, insurance, retirement. Let's talk about what is a deductible. A deductible is an amount that must be paid before your insurance pays. Now, your co-insurance. This is a percentage of your medical cost after you meet the deductible. It's usually 10 to 30%. How about a quick problem? We're going to say that you have an insurance policy that has a deductible of $500, co-insurance $80, the insurance $20, and an out-of-pocket maximum of $5,000. You have an accident. You go to the hospital and incur $7,500 worth of medical expenses. How much do you pay out of pocket? Subtract your deductible from the total expense amount. $7,500 minus $500 equals $7,000. Remember, you have to pay the deductible before the insurance kicks in. Then you have to pay 20% of the $7,000, which would be $1,400. The total is $1,900 out of pocket expenses. That's your deductible and your portion of the co-insurance. You will continue paying out of pocket until your total out of pocket expenses reach the $5,000 maximum set in your policy. At that point, you will no longer pay any more co-insurance. Dental and vision insurance is also a plan that you could opt into. Medicare is a federally mandated health insurance program for individuals over the age of 65 and older. Medicaid is also a federally authorized state-run program that provides health care coverage and premium subsidies for low-income families. COBRA, this is the federal law that applies to employers with 20 or more employees, except federal government and religious institutions. And it basically means that if you quit your job, you're still eligible to purchase insurance coverage through your previous employer for up to 18 months. To analyze your disability income needs, you would estimate your income needs. Consider existing sources of funding to meet those needs. Then determine whether you need additional disability income protection. With a quick clip, and you can just click on video 1 is on this slide, and video 2 follows on the next slide. Go ahead and wrap up your readings and clicking on the links for some extra information and resources. I'll catch you in the next video, which will walk you through your step-by-step health insurance assignment.